Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Vidamaneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show. You're listening to Season 5, Episode 10. You've got a difficult employee. I know, just saying that out loud probably makes your blood pressure go up a bit. As entrepreneurs, we put so much into building our businesses, and when someone on the team isn't working out, well, it just hits differently than other business challenges. But here's the thing. You're not alone. Every leader faces this at some point, and while your instinct might be to avoid the situation or come down hard, neither approach serves you or your business. Let's have a chat about managing that difficult employee without losing your cool. Who knows? You might even end up turning the situation around. So let's start with something that might surprise you. Getting off site. And by the way, your brain is really loud right now. Even I can hear it. Why would I want to spend more time with someone who's driving me crazy? But here's the power move. Changing the environment can completely shift the dynamic. You see, your office carries all that built-up tension. Every time you walk past their desk, you remember that missed deadline or that attitude in the last team meeting. And they feel it too. So let's hit the reset button. Invite them for coffee or even a walk in the park. Frame it as a fresh start conversation, not a disciplinary meeting. Before you have that conversation, you're going to need to do some internal work. This is vital. You've got to separate your emotions from the actual issues. When you're the business owner, everything feels personal. That report they have finished, that's your reputation on the line. That client they were rude to, that's your business relationship at risk. And here's where so many entrepreneurs go wrong. They lead with that frustration. Instead, you need to focus on the facts. Don't tell them that they have a bad attitude. Point to specific instances. Last Tuesday, during the client meeting, you interrupted Sarah 3 times and dismissed her suggestions without consideration. Now, that's something concrete that they can work with. Now, let's talk about a strategy that might feel counterintuitive, leveraging their strengths. And yes, they do have some. And sometimes what makes an employee difficult is that they're in the wrong role. I worked with a business owner who had an employee who constantly questioned processes and pushed back on every procedure. Frustrating, right? But when we dug deeper, we realized this person had an incredible talent for process improvement. They weren't being difficult. They were seeing inefficiencies that others just missed. The key is to ask yourself, what tasks light this person up? When do they shine? Maybe your difficult employee isn't difficult at all. They're just misaligned. A small pivot in their responsibilities could transform them from a problem into a powerhouse. Oh, here's another powerful move. Turn them into a coach. I know. Why would you give more responsibility to someone who's already causing issues? But sometimes the very people who resist authority make the best mentors. They often have valuable insights and skills. They're just not packaging them in a way that works for your team. Give them ownership of a small project. Ask them to mentor a newer team member. When you put their expertise to work, 2 things happen. First, they feel valued and heard. Second, they start seeing situations from a leadership perspective. Suddenly, they understand why certain processes matter, why communication needs to be clear, why deadlines are critical. The transformation can be remarkable. I've seen employees who were on the verge of being fired become some of the strongest team members through this very approach. Why? Because they weren't just following rules anymore. They were helping create success. Remember, as the leader, you set the tone. If you approach this situation with genuine curiosity and a commitment to finding solutions, well, you're modeling the exact behavior you want to see in your team. You're showing them that challenges are opportunities for growth, not just problems to eliminate. And isn't that what leadership is really about? Not just managing the easy situations, but navigating the tough ones with grace and strategy. You see, when you handle a difficult employee, you're not just solving one problem. You're building your leadership muscles for every challenge that's going to come your way. So take that first step, put your happy face on, and schedule that off-site conversation. Lead with facts, look at their strengths, and give them an opportunity to contribute in a meaningful way. You might be surprised at what happens when you approach the situation with a clear head and a strategic mindset. If you found this information helpful, please leave a review and tell a friend. Thanks for spending the time. Until next week, same time, same place.